Good morning, everybody. As the slide says, my name's Robert Mallett. I'm the Executive Officer, or Chief Executive Officer, sounds more slightly bigger title, but it's really just me, of the Tasmanian Small Business Council. So we have the Institute of Public Accountants, the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Southern Market Storeholders Association. All these people, all these organisations are currently members of the Tasmanian Small Business Council. So if you were to come to me and say, look, I'm a plumber and I can't get any work, well, the first person I'd be on to would be the person down here at the Master Plumbers Association, and I'd ring them up and say, look, I've got a person who's a plumber and I think they can probably do the job. What can we do about getting it out to all your members to say we now have a competent, active and available person ready to start work tomorrow? So that's how I can assist sometimes. I can put you in touch with the right people, whether they're members or not, I'd still find an appropriate association or organisation, if I can, to provide you with some of that assistance. What we do at the Small Business Council, though, is we have all these people, and they look after their industry. Okay? They look after their plumbers or their accountants, etc. But they don't necessarily have a really good relationship with the government. So they're members of mine, and I know everybody in the government fairly well. Opposition, the government, the side benches, upper house, the lower house, and many senior public servants. So it makes it very easy for me if there's an issue with the small business sector, with policy, with things that are getting in our way of helping us make some money. I use my skills to be able to go and beat them around the head nicely and tell them what sort of policy should be in place, for example, to help that. I recently was supporting a person in the recent election, for example, and as a result, the government has come up with a $5,000 grant for any migrant looking to start a new business. We've got to wait till the government gets in first. We've got to wait till the votes to be finished counted. We then have to wait for the budget to occur, which will be in a couple of months' time. But in that budget, there'll be an allocation for about $500,000 or thereabouts for $5,000 for migrants who are looking to start their own business. And you'll be able to access that through a grants process. It shouldn't be hard. It better not be hard. I'll be making sure it's not hard. So that it makes it easy for people to be able to go and get that level of some financial support up front so that they can help start off their own small business. So they're the sorts of things that I do that in the background support small business people across the board. For other people, for more established businesses, one of the things is the government, whether it's local government, state government or federal government, are the largest purchasers of goods and services in the country. They're the ones with the biggest bank account. And so many small business people would like to start doing some business with government. But at the moment, to try and do business with government, you've got to sit there with a contract which goes for 3/4 of a kilometre, and it's difficult, it's hard, it's time consuming. You need particular language skills and education skills where you can complete the documentation, and then you may or may not get the job. When this new government gets in, they will institute any job, any government tender for the Tasmanian government, less than $250,000, it will be a one-page tender document. That's all, one page. You can sit at the kitchen table, get some the numbers, and you can fill it out yourself without having to spend hours and weeks and days trying to fill it out and then finding that you weren't successful anyway. So the whole idea is to try and make it much easier for small business people to get government jobs, government business. So that's the sort of thing I do. I've just been away to the Small Business Organisations of Australia National Conference, where we have the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, the New South Wales Premier, the Tax Commissioner, the Fair Work Ombudsman, all sorts of people. They'll come and have a chat to us. And we tell them what we want and what we'd like to see and how we like to see things differently. It doesn't always work. That's life. But we have good relationships with these people. So when something goes a bit wrong, we can go straight to them and say, this is not working, let's fix it. And we can do that. So with any amount of luck, next year, I'm working very, 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 very hard. We may be able to have this national conference held in Hobart, which will be the first time ever that we've been able to do that. So again, if that's the case, so I will be looking to see if the government can support people who would not normally be able to afford to go. It's probably $1,000 to go. You know, so it's fairly expensive for most people. But I will be looking to see if I can find some form of a grant mechanism that people from migrant businesses can actually come to the conference to see and understand who the regulators are, the people who insist that you have to complete this piece of paper or do this action or employ a person like this, and you can come and meet them. So some work to do. I've got to get it official that we're going to have the conference in Hobart, but I'm working on it. So that's the sort of, and then the other thing is where we do, as I say, the Small Business Council works down to all my members here. I get information from them and then I give it off to government. Now I put Tasmanian government there, I ran out of space, but I also talk to the Australian government and I also talk to local government where it's applicable. Any questions? Next slide please. Sorry, Joe.
As a small business,
Yep.
starting,
Yep.
how to reach you?
How to reach me?
Yeah.
If you type Robert Mallett small business into Google, I'll give you $50 if I'm not on top.
Yep, you are.
So there you go.
So even though you're not directly, how do I say, the structure doesn't
Yeah,
to individual business owners, but if they contact you, it's always very
I'll help anybody. It's the nature of me. I'm a small business person. Whilst it says Tasmanian Small Business Council, I have my own small business. It's called The Front Man. And the Tasmanian Small Business Council, they contract me to run their business. And as it happens, Care of Beauty Tasmania contract me to run their business for them. And there's another national one that does too. So I have my own small business, so I know intimately what this is about. And I've been a small business all my life, except for a very, very short time when I was a public servant. And as I'm sure you've worked out by now, I don't make a very good public servant. You know? They don't like it when you want to ring the minister up when you're sitting at the desk, do they? It's not the done thing, is it? Here's a man who works in the public service. He knows you don't just pick up the phone and ring the minister. Okay? That's what I do. When I don't like what's going on, I ring the minister. That's why I'm sitting where I am and what I do. So what's all this small business stuff about? Who are we? We're only small. We don't matter. That's a complete load of garbage. Okay? In Tasmania, in 2022, there were 42,500 businesses in Tasmania, all up, everybody. Only 1,280 of them had more than 20 people working for them. So that means we've got 41,000 small businesses in Tasmania. We are really, really important. We employ more than 50% of the private sector workforce, okay? And in Tasmania, as in the rest of the country, we comprise 97% of all the businesses that are out there, as you can see. And now, especially some of you, just like me, because I don't employ anybody. I work for me, I'm me. So there's 25,000 of me. And for very small businesses, there's 11,500 of you that have got between 1 and 3, 4 employees. So again, you can see that the real focus is on those micro businesses who need as much support as we can, but we're not looking for handouts all the time. We're just looking for a government that creates an environment which makes it easy to do business. And that means we don't have to be reporting to too many government agencies, or we don't have too many impediments in our way to stop us from doing good business. What we want to do is the government to set up a climate where customers want to come to us here in Tasmania, and an opportunity for us to be able to sell to the rest of the world so they can come and do business with us here in Tasmania. So when you get into business, you might think you're just one of a very large, you are, but every single one of us who are in business are playing a really, really important part in the economy of Tasmania. So do not ever underestimate the work that you are to this entire community. So again, I'm very easy to find. I've just given away the only business card I brought with me today. But by all means, chat to Leslie, chat to Jay, talk to anybody. I know who Robert Mallett is, and by all means, come and see me, come and talk to me if you need, and I'll try and set you on the right path wherever I possibly can, at no cost. Okay? Thank you very much for having me. I look forward to enjoying it.
With so many small businesses,
Yep.
what is the easiest way to find who they are? What industry, how many companies are in that industry, their contacts?
Well, sometimes it's really hard to drill down to some of that really fine information, which if you're really switched on, budding small business person, it'd be great to have all that sort of knowledge and data. It's a bit hard to come by, really, but sometimes you need to pick your industry and go to that industry association and tell them what you want to do, and tell them how you want to do it, and if they've got any help for you, because they'd be silly not to give you as much advice as possible, because in the long run, they want you to be their member. They want you to be a successful business in that industry cohort, and they want you to pay their membership fee and be part of them. So they'd be silly not to be giving you as much advice as possible. But if you strike problems, come and see me. Seriously, come and see me. I'm happy. And I will do what I do, and I'll facilitate that conversation, that connection, and it may not be the right one. We may have to find another one that is actually, in fact, a better connection somewhere down the line. So, yeah.
Can I just make a comment about that before you
Yep.
go? The thing about small business that I discovered most of all is that you really need to pay attention. Like, wherever you're going, there's many questions, we'll talk about this later, but wherever you're going to put your business, if there's 5 coffee shops in a row, you need to actually have a point of difference. And to get people to context, everyone would have seen how many coffee shops are closed or small businesses are closed. So this sort of research, finding out stuff, you have to do quite a lot of it yourself, but it isn't that easy, that hard if you start looking around. You know, like if you need a premise, where are the customers coming from? You can't have a premise out in the back block if there's only a few people who are going to come and they're not likely to come to your business.
On the other hand, yes, you're quite right, Leslie, absolutely. But on Tuesday afternoon, Di Lee, who is an independent member for the seat of Fowler in Western Sydney, near Cabramatta, I don't know if any of you have heard of Cabramatta, and she was talking, and she was saying in her main street, of course, she's a federal parliamentarian, they've got 11 banh mi shops. So, if you want banh mi, you go to that street. So it's a bit hard to know. If you want to set up the best banh mi this side of the Black Stump, you go to that street and compete with everybody else that's there, because then everybody realises, oh no, we just go up to that one because they've got the best banh mi of all. Or you find somewhere separate, outside of town a little bit, where everybody gravitates to you and leaves the 11 alone. I don't know. If you look, every single place you find a McDonald's, what else do you see next to a McDonald's? We see Kentucky Fried, Hungry Jack's, McDonald's, or all those. They all cater together, don't they? So that's the fast food sector. So rather than going, I want Macca's, but I want KFC, they can also go to the one area. They all feed off each other, literally, and gather business from each other. So lots of different lots of different psychological things to think of sometimes when you're thinking about how to set up your business. Anyway, I might leave it there. Yes, sorry, another question?
No. Is Business Tasmania is the umbrella?
Business Tasmania, very good. Business Tasmania is one of the most helpful organisations any person will ever come across in this country. It's actually a government department. It's run out of the Department of State Growth, and the Small Business Department within that are responsible for Business Tasmania. And I give them their due. I'm not always very glowing about government departments. Sometimes they can get in the way big time. But Business Tasmania are very helpful.
There were 3 COVID times, especially actually.
Yep. No, they are unbelievable. And if you're finding there's something they don't do right, or you'd like to see more of, come and see me. And I'll talk to them about it. Because seriously, they are very, very good at what they do. And so whether you're an established business or a brand new business, they have resources, but I think, I imagine Leslie or Joe will talk about this a little bit later on, but, yeah. But from my point of view, as a little bit of endorsement, absolutely go and see Business Tasmania online, because I go. When I need some help or to find some advice, I go to Business Tasmania. So they're that good. So, anyway, thank you very much.